closed. Why are you in here? This is very upsetting to me, to see them poaching these creatures. You see all these crabs that they have? 2 buckets. 2 buckets of crabs. What are you taking out of the water? You don't see the sign? You need to get tickets and get arrested. We do need more patrols in this area because the poachers are everywhere.
3 or 4 years ago, we started to see more of a phenomenon. Little tiny headlights out in different areas of the bay. And at first it was like, wow, what's going on, During COVID, it exploded. We realized that during times of dead low tide, when you have an exposed mud flat, that people were coming in and just wantonly taking whatever they could get in buckets full of this stuff. We're talking about turtles.
Turtles is a big thing.
Turtles is a real big thing.
Some cultures, that's a wanted item.
A delicacy. Besides turtles, you have eels, you have crabs, you have clams. So the DEC tells us that this is a major problem because if that makes it out onto the open market, which they expect it is, you can really see people get sick. Jamaica Bay is a treasure within New York City. The only urban national park of its kind in the country. Tremendous amount of marine life. 1 out of every 4 birds in North America has been spotted here at some point in time. My family, the Mundy family, has lived in Jamaica Bay for 4 generations. We've dedicated ourselves to protecting Jamaica Bay. Hey, buddy. What do you say? Hey, what do you say there? Hey, hello, friend. This is over 25 times the size of Central Park. Sometimes hard to believe that you're in the city when you're out here, in a city of 8 million. Jamaica Bay is an amazing place, but there's also a dark side.
So Jamaica Bay, basically, from the late 1800s up until 1990, was just basically a dumping ground. And the quality of the bay went downhill because of it.
Direct sewage going into the bay, dumping by different companies in terms of just whatever you threw into the bay. Nobody really considered it a crime.
They put the cement shoes on you, a couple of concrete blocks, and over you went and down you went. Swim with the fishes.
You can see human waste in the water at times. So while we're talking about all the great things in Jamaica Bay and how it's come around, and it has, it's still not safe to take certain species like shellfish that reside in the sediment on the bottom. There is a potential for your family to get sick. Ahead of us up there is the North Channel Bridge, also known as the Adabo Bridge, and that white spit of beach sand is where a lot of times you see the poaching going on at night. Very conducive to it because you got the parking lot right there, so you can just walk right in from your car.
Have you ever had the chance to go over and talk to them?
No, I've approached on a couple occasions. They're not able to understand and communicate, with a language barrier.
Hello. I don't know, maybe he's not poaching. Guys, this area is closed. Why are you in here? What are you catching?
Okay, right now we are leave, okay, miss? Thank you.
I could barely drag this bag. No, hold on. I'm not letting you take this. This is way too much. Look at this. Look at all these fish. They're pulling out the water. This water is not clean. You're not supposed to be in the water, period, because it's sewage. You got crabs here. We're not supposed to be collecting these crabs. Okay, this is not allowed here. You can't be taking the crabs. You gotta leave the crabs in the water. Okay, the crabs are shellfish. Look, you gotta look at the sign.
I would not eat a fish, a crab, or a clam out of Jamaica Bay because they're going to increase the risk of cancer, they're going to interfere with my brain function, they're going to increase my risk of a whole variety of other diseases. I really have been working in environmental health for 45 years. We have not removed a lot of the hazardous chemicals from those bodies of water. The Hudson River from Hudson Falls and Fort Edward down to New York City, including Jamaica Bay and the East River, is a federal Superfund site designated so by the Environmental Protection Agency, which means this is one of the most contaminated sites in the country. There are a number of different chemicals that make fish dangerous to eat. The most dangerous one is PCBs. General Electric Company had 2 plants on the Hudson River. Monsanto PCBs were excellent insulators for any electrical equipment. As they filled them, PCBs leaked. They got on the floor of the plants and they washed the PCBs down the drain. The drain led directly into the Hudson River. PCBs escaped into the environment. They migrated down the river to the New York City area, to the East River, to Jamaica Bay, where they have contaminated the sediments, the water, the fish, even the soil nearby. One can't see PCBs in a body of water. Therefore, most people don't understand how dangerous they are. PCBs have been rated as a proven human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. But it's not only cancer. PCBs may reduce IQ, increase diabetes, high blood pressure. Everything they do is harmful. The problem is most of the nearby residents don't understand the level of contamination.
The water here is pretty dirty, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a seaweed.
No, there's like feces.
把那个说，
那您知道这个污水就是它里面都有什么化学成分之类的？
这个我就不知道了。反正我们家里，咱们老百姓家里去刷碗的水啦、倒水啦、洗黑子、洗衣服的水排出来都从这里排出去。
You really have to start to question, you know, why those people are doing that in the first place. What would drive them to do that? And obviously it's because they don't have any other choice. Who would want to do that?
这做完是回去吃吗？还是可以卖的？
都是拿去吃，
拿自己吃。
没有拿去卖。亲戚朋友拿一下子没有了，一人拿几个。
So the fact that this fishing or poaching started, and it started in tandem with the start of the pandemic, is actually not surprising to me. If you actually understand some of the history of the population in terms of their food insecurity and the lack of social service resources for them. Okay. Thank you. We assume that Asian Americans are rich, but there are huge sections of the community that are living on the fringes. The food insecurity problem in the Chinese lower income community is a problem. So Asian Americans make up about 14 to 15% of the New York City community. This report found that they receive 1.4% of all city contract dollars. That is what happens when there are all these holes within the social support system in this country, where people like that have to live outside and go into the fringes to just survive.
生意好差，好像是那个疫情啊，就是生意好差，所以我们那个钱就不知道怎么想办法。
The general feeling and the general perception of the Asian American community does stem around not only exoticism, but exoticism specifically around food. I mean, a lot of the narrative around the coronavirus was Chinese people eating bats, right? And it is an easy way to other people to say like, ew, what you do is gross. Therefore, you are less human. Therefore, we can treat you differently than other people that are human. So Asian Americans need to exist within this thin band within US society, which is you're either doing better than everyone else or you're obviously a threat to our national security.
For almost on any given night, if we have officers working out, they will write tickets. Might be couple, might be 14, 15, 20 a night. A lot of them are unclassified misdemeanors, so the fine is between $250 and $1,000.
反正我看到基本每天都有人在这边抓，但是今天我不知道有没有人查我。我知道合法的，不知道犯法的。
So many of the people we've met don't seem to realize they are doing something illegal, or at least they tell us that. Do you ever worry that you're criminalizing something that's actually just lost in translation?
Well, DEC does a good job posting information on the website. But at the same token, we do have responsibility to protect the human health, and we need to do what we need to do to enforce the regulations. Some of it is through education, some of it is through summonses.
Well, it's outrageous to criminalize immigrant communities for eating contaminated fish, as DEC is doing. It's not sane. Environmental injustice is when poor people are at greater risk of environmental contamination and disease than rich people. This is clearly an issue of environmental justice, or rather environmental injustice. It's in general true around the world that it's low-income people that bear the brunt of the environmental contamination that we have caused.
In Flint, Michigan, dangerous levels of lead were discovered which can cause learning difficulties in children.
You know, people are having more and more to carry their children to the doctor.
Got to fix
they got
formula, got
rashes, they have stomach conditions.
This is true internationally. The body of water has been circled by industries that dump toxic substances. The nearby environment is no longer beautiful, and the property values go way down. So poor people are attracted to that because they can live more cheaply near the contaminated sites. They're stuck in an environment where they have to scrounge for their daily food. I call the Hudson River down to Jamaica Bay a beautiful hazardous waste site. And it will remain that probably forever.
它污水处理确保这个水天天就淌到湾里来，它那个灭不发黑。